From deadly curses to armed guards, ancient libraries went to extreme lengths to protect their precious books. Join us as we explore the fascinating and sometimes terrifying measures used to keep knowledge safe in history's most important libraries. The Great Library of Alexandria wasn't just any library, it was the crown jewel of the ancient world. Picture a massive building complex where up to 400,000 scrolls were stored, representing the largest collection of knowledge ever assembled at that time. The Ptolemaic rulers who built it were absolutely obsessed with collecting every book they could find. They would actually confiscate books from ships entering Alexandria's harbor, copy them, and return only the copies to the original owners. The original manuscripts were kept in the library with a simple note, "From the ships." The rulers even sent buyers to book fairs and markets across the Mediterranean, competing with other collectors to get their hands on rare texts. They spent fortunes, the equivalent of millions in today's money, just to expand their collection. Let's dive into the medieval period, where libraries took physical security to a whole new level. Imagine walking into a library where every book was literally chained to the shelves. This was actually a common practice in medieval libraries, where books were so valuable that they were secured with heavy iron chains, sometimes up to 3 feet long. These chains were attached to metal rods or bars running along the shelves, allowing readers to take books to nearby desks but preventing them from leaving the building. The University of Oxford's library had hundreds of these chained books, and some even had additional iron locks on their covers. While it might seem extreme to us today, remember that a single book could cost as much as a small house back then, so these security measures made perfect sense to medieval librarians. Before security cameras and electronic alarms, ancient librarians turned to something far more intimidating: curses. These weren't just simple warnings, they were elaborate supernatural threats written directly into books. A common curse from medieval times warned that thieves would face horrible diseases or even death. In ancient Mesopotamia, clay tablets often ended with curses promising that anyone who damaged or stole them would anger the gods. One Egyptian curse threatened book thieves with a painful death by crocodile. While we can't prove if these curses actually worked, they definitely played on people's deep religious fears and superstitions. The psychological impact of these supernatural threats was probably more effective than any physical lock. After all, who would risk eternal damnation just to steal a book? While curses and chains were effective deterrents, many ancient libraries also employed actual armed guards to protect their precious collections. These weren't your typical security guards. They were specially trained warriors who understood the value of the knowledge they protected. In ancient China, the imperial library employed elite soldiers who were also scholars, capable of both fighting off intruders and handling delicate manuscripts properly. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad had a dedicated force of guards who protected not just the books, but also the scholars working there. Even the Vatican Library maintained its own military unit, the Palatine Guard, who kept watch over its invaluable collection. These guards didn't just prevent theft, they also protected books from fire, water damage, and even rats. Let's look at some notorious book thieves who learned the hard way not to mess with libraries. Take Stephen Blumberg, nicknamed the Book Bandit, who stole over 23,000 rare books worth $5.3 million in the 1980s. He was eventually caught and sentenced to 6 years in prison. Then there's Daniel Spiegelman, who took precious manuscripts from Columbia University by posing as a researcher. When caught, he faced 71 months in prison and had to pay $1.5 million in restitution. But perhaps the most dramatic case was that of Marino Massimo De Caro, who looted Italy's Girolomini Library. He not only went to prison but was permanently banned from public offices in Italy, a fitting punishment for someone who betrayed public trust. In royal libraries across history, taking a book wasn't just theft, it was considered an act of treason against the crown itself. These libraries weren't just collections, they were symbols of royal power and knowledge. When King Charles V of France established his library in the 1300s, he declared that stealing from it would be punishable by death. Similarly, in imperial China, taking books from the royal collection could result in execution not just for the thief, but for their entire family. The Ottoman sultans were equally protective. Their private library at Topkapi Palace was guarded by special forces, who had the authority to arrest or execute anyone caught stealing. Even being caught reading certain restricted texts without permission could land you in serious trouble. Medieval monasteries were the ultimate guardians of knowledge, and their monks took this role incredibly seriously. These devoted scholars didn't just copy and preserve books, they were prepared to defend them with their lives. Each monastery library had strict rules. Books were blessed before being added to the collection, and monks had to take solemn vows to protect them. Some monasteries built secret rooms and hidden passages to protect their most valuable manuscripts during raids. The most precious books were often kept in special chests that required multiple keys, held by different monks, to open. During Viking invasions, many monks chose to flee with their most valuable manuscripts, rather than leave them behind, sometimes carrying heavy books for hundreds of miles to safety. Let's talk about the most valuable books in ancient times. These weren't just expensive, they were worth entire fortunes. A single illuminated manuscript could cost as much as a small farm. The Purple Codex, written in silver and gold ink on purple-dyed parchment, was so valuable that it had its own armed guard detail. The security measures were incredible. These books were kept in reinforced rooms, often underground, with multiple locks and specialized wooden chests. Some were even divided into separate parts and stored in different locations to prevent theft of the complete work. The most precious volumes were only handled while wearing special gloves, and readers had to swear sacred oaths before even touching them. Many required 3 different keys held by 3 different librarians to access. Ancient libraries were masters of architectural deception when it came to protecting their most valuable texts. Many buildings featured false walls, rotating bookcases, and hidden underground chambers that could only be accessed through complex sequences of movements. The Vatican Library, for example, maintained a series of secret rooms known only to a select few monks. In Islamic libraries, architects designed special alcoves with acoustic properties that would amplify even the quietest footsteps, alerting guards to potential intruders. Some monasteries went as far as creating entire fake libraries to mislead raiders, while keeping their true collections hidden behind clever mechanical systems triggered by specific books being pulled in the right order. Recent archaeological discoveries have revealed just how sophisticated ancient library security systems really were. Using advanced scanning technology, researchers have uncovered hidden chambers in monastery walls, complete with ingenious alarm systems that would trigger bells if unauthorized people entered restricted areas. At the monastery of St. Catherine in Egypt, archaeologists found intricate locking mechanisms that required specific sequences to open, similar to modern combination locks. Ground-penetrating radar has exposed networks of secret tunnels under several medieval libraries, designed to evacuate books quickly during emergencies. Perhaps most fascinating are the recently discovered architectural features in Islamic libraries that created natural surveillance systems, carefully placed mirrors and acoustic channels that helped guards monitor multiple rooms simultaneously. Thanks for joining us on this journey through history's most secure libraries. If you enjoyed learning about these fascinating security measures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let us know in the comments which security measure surprised you most.